Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. Mixed reaction from parents about the continuation of the Barbados secondary schools entrance examination. Some say it's the challenge children at that age need. Others believe it puts way too much stress on their sons and daughters. CBC teams visited some of the examination centers today where students sat this year's common entrance examination.
Scores of parents here outside of the Parkinson Secondary School this morning, and you'll see similar situations playing out at secondary schools turned examination centers across Barbados as thousands of primary school students sit down to do the common entrance examination. About 3,700 of them, split evenly between boys and girls, are doing the exam today. And this morning we got a chance to talk to some of the students before they went into the exam, and also some of the parents about their feelings about the 11+ examination. Following a motivational speech from Parkinson School Principal Jeff Broom, these Wilkie Cumberbatch students told me how they felt going into the examination.
Pretty nervous.
Pretty nervous?
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel confident.
Which subject do you prefer, math or grammar?
I prefer math.
How do you view going to do any math exam today?
Good. I like it. I get 72.
I feel great. Not really nervous or nothing, but it is one important day of my life.
Revising, checking over your work that you do before, and pay attention to your work.
I am not afraid for the exam because I'm confident of myself.
And don't matter what you do, just because it don't matter where you go, you learn the same thing, and you do the same CXCs, you do the same thing, you do the same work.
Now, after the students went into the classroom, we spoke to some of the parents. They were pretty much split about keeping or abolishing the exam.
I think it should continue with it because it gives children a challenge. It might not give them as much challenge at school with their peer, but going amongst other children, they will try to do more than they're accustomed to doing.
They would have abolished it before her turn came, but you know, I haven't given it a lot of thought. Maybe they could
abolish it, but then the question would be what would be put in place.
Abolish it why though? Think it's too much stress?
It's too stressful. I've known a friend of mine, she had a son and he was doing quite well, and he didn't come in entrance. He could not perform.
No, I don't think it's too much pressure. I think more so the parents that put pressure on children.
Nah, I don't think so. Because I think it's a chance for them to see what they're learning at primary school. Put all the tests together and test themselves.
Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Thanks, Shane. Well, primary school children have a new avenue to develop their skills in theatre arts. It's a facility called the Smart Arts Room, located in Waterhall Land, Eagle Hall, St. Michael. Founder and creative director Janelle Mitchell says it caters to a maximum of 20 children between the ages of 6 and 10. She explains the idea for the room stemmed from a desire to share her knowledge of theatre arts with children while helping them to improve their reading, thinking, and creative skills.
What I want is children to become more artistic and expressionists in their own right, because what I find is a lot of children don't know how to articulate their thoughts, and once we start from reading, which is to help the vocabulary building, help the thoughts to come clearer, you know, help them to chart a better future for themselves in terms of opening up the imagination.
Ms. Mitchell says the response so far has been positive, with many people asking her to consider taking on even younger children.
I had some parents expressing to me to start at an earlier age. They want to encourage children to get more involved in reading. They told me up to two to four that I need to do it. And I said, well, maybe that would be my next phase, because that would definitely have to be storytelling and not reading, because they can read at 2.
Renewed concern about the number of overweight children in Barbados. This is one of the findings of a survey conducted by the Barbados Statistical Service and the United Nations Children's Fund. The information is contained in the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey report. A national consultation on the MICS is now underway to discuss the findings at the Hilton Hotel. Child nutrition was one of the areas examined.
So there's the issue of stunting that is quite 7.7%, wasting is 6.8%. And the really, really worrying one is this issue of obesity. It has been said, the data, these are all national level data. And this data is also further disaggregated by parishes or groups of parishes. It's also disaggregated by age. It's also disaggregated by gender. And from the peak I've had, it seems the boys are a lot fatter than the girls. I wouldn't know why.
The report also raised concerns about other issues that need attention in Barbados, including violent disciplining of children. Meanwhile, Minister of Social Care, Steve Blackett, says the information in the report is expected to close some of the data gaps in available statistics in the island and can also be used for monitoring some of the Millennium Development Goals.
It provides specific information on children and women with critical vulnerable groups that were not the primary focus of attention of the CALC report. The dovetailing of the MICS and the CALC reports, therefore, will be very important and relevant in reporting on and assisting with Barbados's developmental agenda.
Police investigations into the Charlie Doom murder case have resulted in a sixth man appearing in court today. He is Terrell Tarrier Mears, 33 years, of Cleavers Hill in St. Joseph. He has been arrested and charged for assisting an offender, which is an indictable offense. Now, Mears is currently on bail for the offense of murder in relation to the stabbing death of Rico de Pisa, which occurred nearly 3 years ago on May 21st at Speightstown in St. Peter. Another man, Ryan Omar Samuel, 33 years, of Grape Hall, St. Lucie, one of the 5 men jointly charged with Doom's murder, was out on bail in relation to de Pisa's killing. Just yesterday, Samuel and 3 other men, all from St. Lucie, were remanded in relation to the murder of Charlie Doom, who was shot at a bar on the corner of Nelson Street and Wellington Street. That brings the total of 5 men now remanded to Dodds Prison on that murder charge, including Andre Omar Jackman, alias Lord Evil, or Punchies, of Stroud Bay, Crab Hill in St. Lucie.
Kieran Pollard's Mumbai Indians are currently trying to get their second victory of the 2014 IPL. The defending champs are going up against Chris Gayle and the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and after 18 overs, there were 152 for 4, with Pollard still there on 40. And just checking the latest score, they're actually now 179 for 4 with about 3 balls to go. As I said, the action is live on MTV Sports Max. One incident to tell you about, though, a few balls ago, Pollard, he was pulling out of his stance against pacer Mitchell Stark. Stark still bowled the ball at Pollard as he was walking away, and Pollard then simulated throwing the bat at the bowler. Of course, both players were warned and play continued. Of course, all that action live on MTV Sports Max. In more cricket news, appropriately, the Keith Boys 11 won the Keith Boys Memorial Tournament when they defeated Premier League team Maple in the final at Diamondshire recently. Batting first, the Keith Boys 11 scored at 7 runs per over to post what eventually proved to be a winning total. It wasn't the best of starts for pacer Kirk Payne. He bowled wide, then was driven off the back foot by Redden Topping through the covers for 4. Same opening over, he pitches up wide of off stump to Don O'Neill, who goes after it, placing it just wide of the sweeper on the cover boundary. Payne's second over, and although the pitch looked grassy, he tested the batsman's drive once again. Mistake, as O'Neill goes long for a Diamondshire half dozen. Payne only got 2 overs and they went for 20 runs. Kirk Broom replaced Payne and tested the greenery, but O'Neill showed why maybe it was a good idea to stay away from the short stuff. And in no time, O'Neill got to his 50 with another boundary, this one off Theo Graves. And he just kept throwing the bat at anything in his half, this time using the long handle to good effect. Graves clearly wasn't pitching or learning. Back into the slot, and O'Neill on bended knee goes wide long on again. Toppin would be the first to go, dancing down to Shane Ramsey and being bowled through the gate for a 28, Ramsey taking 1 for 37. Aubrey Toller would try his luck at the southern end. No luck, 6 more to O'Neill. But he would get his man. O'Neill didn't get to the pitch of this one and spooned the catch to Graves. He made a fiery 71. Towler finishing with 1 for 21. Pedro Agard, who chances are didn't plan to bowl, had to be introduced. And he got Rohan Nurse caught by Graves for 4. Then 3 balls later, Andy Payne was caught by Haroon Austin on the mid-wicket boundary for a duck. Antonio Mears must have been watching O'Neill. Not that he had to, but I'm just saying, 6 more over long on. Luckily, no cow itch in the bush. For some reason, Lane tried to test the arm of Graves, and he failed that test, run out for 27. Big Carlo Morris would come in and did what he does. And if this was a cane ground, that would be 10 rows back. Mears showed that sixes can also be struck from the northern end. This one, he cleared the road. Cars were in trouble. It took Agard to come back from the opposite end to get rid of Mears, bowled behind his back for 44. Agard ending with 3 for 46. Morris was unbeaten on 47 and Khalid Springer on 11, as Keith Boyce 11 made 241 for 6 in their 35 overs. And the Maple in reply got up to 213 for 9 in 32 overs when Badlight ended play. But that meant that the Keith Boyce 11 won by 8 runs, as Maple needed to be 221 by the end of that 32nd over. Man of the match, Collis Worrell, had top scored with 75, while Springer and Lane got 3 wickets each.